Hey guys, it's Savine from merch.com. Have you ever wondered why certain pieces of content still didn't get added to the game yet? For years that was or has been the case for the Dragon Crossbow, Dragon Warhammer, Dragon Kite Shield, Fossil Island, Level 90 Boots, and the Soul Altar to name a few. Some of these have been added to the game already after years of waiting, others are still floating out there somewhere. From time to time, people talk to me about investing for such uncertain updates. Like someone recently asked me whether it would be a good idea to invest in soul runes, as there may be an update for them one day, which could make them very popular, of course, and thus very valuable. Now, of course, I gave the advice that you should never invest in an item because you're hoping for a certain update to happen one day if you know nothing about it, like this Jon Snow person people keep referring to. Now, Jagex has talked about some concepts for years, but it's always a matter of priorities, and thus a lot of things like fixing shields are pushed back. Putting your money on the line for an undetermined amount of time is a complete waste. It's better to flip or invest in other stuff in the meantime that you know will make you a profit for certain, rather than sitting on an item for a year or maybe 3 years without knowing if the update will ever come. Now, the thing with the Soul Altar, though, is that it's not unknown when the update may be. I'd like to share with you what I know about it and how I found that information. It's unusual for me to share future update information like this, but sometimes it's nice to change things up, and I figured you guys might learn a thing or two from it. Just a quick disclaimer before I do that, I am not invested in soul runes and I'm not telling you to buy any either. So I first went to look for the source of the discussions. About 10 years ago in 2005, the Abyss was added to the game. As you probably know, there's an entrance to the Soul Altar in there which can be used. We've also seen images of the Soul Talisman in the Grand Exchange database. There's a teleport option on the Wicked Hood to the Soul Altar, and Soul Runes are included in RuneSpan. There really is no doubt that we'll see a Soul Altar into the game. The question is when. I knew people definitely asked about this in the Q&A, so I had a quick look and came across this one in March 2014. In there, Mod Osborne said that we might see the Soul Altar added soon, depending on player votes. So I had a look at the next polls after this Q&A. One of them asked us which spellbook and prayer book we wanted to see Saren spells and prayers added to. Now this made a lot of people believe that soul runes would be used for these spells, and this update would be bringing the Soul Altar into the game. Now I think there's a misunderstanding here, which is in very simple wording. Mod Osborne said we might see the Soul Altar added soon, depending on votes. Whereas in this poll, they kind of already decided that they would add spells and prayers to the game. It's also unlikely that people are going to vote that they don't want them added to the game, and if they would have voted no, Jagex would have had to change the lore around the Soul Altar to still be able to bring it into the game, which makes little sense. Then again, it's still a possibility that this is the poll that he meant. Then the next poll was about quests, where we had to pick from 3 categories. A random standalone quest would never bring such a highly anticipated piece of content with so much lore involved into the game, so it had to come from either a 6-stage quest or a next in a series quest. Now if we look at the next in a series quest, we can rule out the Desert Story, as it's not advanced enough yet. The Gnome Penguin and Pirate series never had to do much with magic and runes, let alone the highest level rune, so that leaves the Elemental Workshop quest. I went to look for questions to Jagex about that, and found the following old interview on the Rune HQ forums. Jagex confirmed in here that they want to release quests in this series for each gear slot, and so far we only have a few. And Soul Runes being the highest level rune just makes it unlikely to be the next quest in this series, and thus for the Soul Altar to come into the game soon, like Mod Osborne said. The series has also been very much about smithing magic items and not about runes themselves, so it doesn't really fit the concept. So then we had to go back to the 6-stage quests, which also won the first poll. Now here we have Sir Owen, Aviancy, Tasca, Elder Gods, and Dragonkin. Sir Owen can be ruled out as the first quest was super low, and he's a melee guy after all. The Aviancy quest has been brought up many times, but this would be a low-level exploration quest and wouldn't require you to have like really high stats to be able to access the highest rune altar. It also makes more sense for the Soul Altar to be in the main game world along with the rest of the altars, but that's kind of a detail. Then Tasca has already passed, and it wouldn't have made any sense for it to reward us with the Soul Altar. The Elder Gods are again an exploration quest, and we already saw this added to the game in the Hearth of Stone quest. So that leaves us with the Dragonkin. It perfectly fits the description if you ask me. A very high level quest in a long series, rich in lore which can easily be linked to soul stuff with the Dragonkin being bound to the Stone of Jazz. If you think about it, the Death Altar came from the Long Elven Quest series, and the Blood Altar from the Vampire series. It would make perfect sense for the Soul Altar to come from the Dragonkin series. The only thing missing here is a reason to make soul runes more useful, as it would be pretty stupid to release the altar and not add any uses for the runes, which are currently pretty useless. So the Saren spells admittedly score a lot better on potential uses for soul runes, but then again, it's not that hard to add reasons for soul runes to be more useful. Either way, the Saren quest will be added to the game this August, so I suppose we'll see. Let me know in the comments, which update do you think the Soul Altar will be released with? Saren, Dragonkin, or something else I completely missed? If you think you know the answer, investing at the right time could make you a lot of profit, so good luck with that. I hope I gave you some more insights on how to research for future updates. It really goes very deep and very broad. You just have to really ask the right questions. Now, especially in 2013 and 2014, it was ridiculously profitable to do this kind of research and to kind of see updates coming and invest for them. It's when I uploaded about 12 mil profit in update investments in a year, I believe. These days, Jagex gives away a lot more information, so it's harder to be one of the very few people who see an update coming and make a lot of profit from it. Take care, guys, and I'll see you all again next week for another video.